up in the balcony, thinking hard about his life choices so far.
Hmm. Doing the statue, the thinker pose.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Uh, Having received some rather serious revelations regarding your condition during your time in this small town of Gelm, you have decided, along with the other party members, to take a hiatus or some time to deal with personal matters. You all agree to meet within a city known as Marin in 1.5 months' time, and you all go your separate ways.
To the
Have,
monastery.
having learnt sort of what it is that afflicts you, you have decided now is the right time to return to your conclave in the mountains and visit your family. After 2 weeks of travelling inland, you find yourself traversing the hidden mountain peak pathways to your homelands. The mountain air stings your lungs, but feels right to you. Feels like home. Your wife is the first to greet you. Standing across the great bridge of roots, she holds her hands on her hips, the wind whipping her white hair across her face. She always did have an uncanny knowledge of when you would be arriving home. And I'll just add you to this page.
Oh yeah, real Himalayan vibes.
Hey, my companion heart. Welcome home. She smiles, as beautiful to you as the day you fell in love with her.
Oh, it's so good to see you again, Diane. What's that?
Oh no, I made a name for her. Sorry, actually, because I was looking through your backstory and I was like, hang on. Where is she? She is.
Arla. Alandra. Oh hell yeah.
Oh fuck, that
A
has
very
some
particular
old. Don't, no,
man
no,
who has
no,
a
don't read
very
that.
particular goal in mind.
Don't read
Gold.
that.
My
That
wife.
you're a man.
Alandra. I never knew. I
Sorry, that
thought
was
you said
a
you were from Iran.
g'day cunt. No, sorry, that was
Stubby in
a
the fridge.
that was an old NPC that I was writing over.
Alright, sweet.
Unfortunately, that just completely ruined the mood for you. But anyway,
No, no, that's good. Oh, the immersion. I
yeah,
forgot her name already. Alandra?
yeah, my fucking immersion. Um,
Alandra. I go up and give her a very, very long hug.
yeah,
An embrace.
she easily returns the embrace with you. You can feel her strength. She's still as sturdy as an oak as when you first met her. She along with most people within your sanctuary have spent their days tilling the fields, working the land, and training in combat with the glaive.
Yeah.
Um, she ushers you into the mountain sanctuary and takes you to greet the rest of your family. Your grandchildren excitedly run to you as each one realizes you have returned, each clamoring for your attention and for stories of the outside world. Your children greet you warmly and offer small talk of the past months since you have been gone. I'll just drag you over to this page. It looks a bit shit, unfortunately, because it's a big map and these lines are pretty hard, and I only ever kept the gridded version, but whatever. Actually, I could probably do this for you.
Oh, yeah. Are we inside? Oh, what are we looking at? Oh, yeah, that looks nice.
So so the bridge leads into a kind of
Hectic.
opening within the mountain peaks that leads into like a bit of a hideaway ravine kind of deal where your village has been built into.
Ah, home. It's good
Um,
to be back.
the Yeah, we'll get into it. The reunions with your family are short lived, however, as the village elder hobbles down the path towards you. We have much to discuss, Abe. Come with me.
That we do, Elder. What's his name?
Recry.
Elder Require.
Um, yeah, he begins
I'll,
leading you through the winding path of the village. And as you walk, he turns to you. Tell me of what you have learned, Abe.
Elder Require.
You don't have to
I
go into crazy details if you don't want to. You can just kind of.
I have some startling news actually. I think it would perhaps be best if we were to talk in private.
I think so too, Abe. Um. So what do you reveal to him of your travels?
So where do we start? I still haven't figured out the deal with the Buddha yet.
Yep.
So I'll probably start with our latest adventure, um how we found out about the inky milk or milky ink, one of the two.
Inky milk, I think it was from memory.
Yeah, and how it seems to be afflicting people with the same curse that I'm currently experiencing. However, it usually overwhelms them, so they can't, be awake simultaneously and
Yeah.
also control the shadow like I can.
Yeah.
Um, I tell them about how we went around collecting those artifacts, and I was working with a member of the Church of Lathander to try and exorcise this village. But when we did that, an avatar of Lathander himself, struck us down essentially. And were it not
Um.
for
Just for clarity, it wasn't an avatar. It was Yuratar's shadow.
oh, it wasn't Avatar of Lathander?
No, no, yeah, it was Yuratar's shadow. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that had like Lathander burning it from within. What did I call it? Where is it?
He was buffed.
Shit. Oh yeah, I called it a light forged paladin.
Yeah. Um yeah, and pretty much reveal rather solemnly that Lathander himself reached down with his hand and struck us down. And were it not for the intervention of a god whose name I don't even know yet, and another god of one of our party members, we probably all would have fallen at the hands of Lathander.
Okay. It was just the one god. Were you referring to two gods then?
Um, well, Abe's under the assumption that whoever's granting him the new power, or whoever the new god, um, and the second god, which is the Chard's patron, the ice axe that blew up, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you tell him of your suspicions of this new god, or like that you're expecting?
I pretty much and relay what the Lathanderial paladin told us about the process of how new gods come to be and how old gods split their powers. And that Lathander's probably going through that process right now and obviously resisting that.
Yeah, okay. Um, okay, just one moment.
If that's the understanding of the story so far that I should have right now.
Yeah, no, that's all pretty much straight up. Um, okay. The elder leads you deeper into your mountain sanctuary, all the way to the enormous gates of divinity, the once sealed and never opened gates that form the core of your belief. They stand over 100 meters tall and dominate the far side of your village that is tucked away in this mountain nook. Abe, perhaps it is time you learn of the full origin of our people. As is common knowledge for the village, our ancestors came here from beyond the seas and settled here to avoid persecution. But the truth is, we were brought here as slaves. Our ancestors once followed a different god, not Lathander, but one who now has no name. This one
God.
gave birth to another god and lost its people in the process, its power, and its life. The reason for this was the child god was corrupted by a demonic cult that had taken our ancestors' cities by like a plague. This cult caused a sundering in the beliefs of the people and caused this child god to be born. During the chaos, our ancestors' civilization perished, and peoples of the other gods took advantage. Or the peoples of other gods took advantage. We were enslaved and brought across to this land. We were taught to worship Lathander, but our core beliefs have survived to this day, carried by each elder. Our history is carried only in story and passed only by mouth to each new elder. I feared this day might come and hoped that it would not. Your condition has begun to afflict others within the worshippers of Lathander, as well as our own people. Reports have been coming from other splintered religions or other like offset religions of Lathander, where their people have a splitting of their soul and these shadows that follow them. From what I know, and from the stories of our elders, this is the symptom of a new god's birth. He
Sheesh.
finishes talking.
But this curse has not rendered me incapacitated like it has others.
No,
In fact, it saved my life.
Hmm.
Almost a blessing.
And this is so for those minor factions within Lathander's religion. They too have people who are with a similar affliction as yours, without touching this drug that has taken a hold. They too can commune with their shadow and order it to do things. And
What about the drug? I mean, why would the Church of Lathander be distributing it if it's causing harm to its people?
what makes you think the Church of Lathander is distributing it?
Well, the symbol of Lathander's on the vial.
Oh, yeah, so you told him that.
Yeah.
One moment.
Actually, I think I still have a vial on me from the first session.
Yeah, you probably do. I remember you picking one up. Um, he takes the vial from you and he like rolls it over in his hands and looks at it. And he puts it back in your hand and says, "You trust everything your eyes tell you?"
Well, I am yet to find a reason to distrust such a sign.
Have you found where they produce this drug? Are
No.
you certain that it is the worshippers of Lathander producing it? Perhaps it is a misdirection.
False flag operation.
I see no reason why Lathander would wish to lose his power or parts of his power. And that is
So,
why I assume he himself appeared before you and set those shadows ablaze with his own holy light, rather than allow this new god to take his worshippers, his power. He instead sears or like cauterizes like these infected parts of himself.
I see. So what does that mean for us here, living on the mountain?
Mm.
Obviously, we can't
I
keep going on like this.
I think that question is best answered by a new elder, and he holds his hand out to you.
Me?
I believe so, Abe. You have done much for the people here. It is your turn to lead them.
Done much for my family. I mean, we are all family here.
Yes.
I do not act in want of a payoff.
And don't you see that is what makes you the best choice to lead these people? You were the
What about
first.
yourself, Father?
I grow old. My bones are brittle. My years are coming to an end. We need a fresh mind to lead us in these chaotic times. And
See,
if my hunch is correct, I believe you were the first to receive your shadow. And maybe if things work out well, perhaps you will be the first among this new god's followers.
I see, and I accept.
He grips you like in that um
That monkey grip.
yeah, that bro grip that Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's the other first name from Predator?
Oh yeah, we like flexing super hard,
Yeah.
veins popping.
And you spend a few hours with him as he relays to you the spoken stories of your ancestors and your people.
Right.
Um, he believes there are other groups that are quite possibly similar to yours here in the mountains, but elsewhere around the world as well.
Similar to
Or
like
whoops.
Lathander offshoots, or
Um,
or like
ancestor offshoots. So like, because like followers of the Lathander were the only group of people or civilizations that kind of reached into your ancestors' lands and like stole people away when all of this was going down.
yeah. So there's plenty of other offshoot religions around, and
If not
they might.
offshoot religions, like offshoot um, remnants of your ancestors, basically, like what you are.
Oh right, yep, yeah, okay, of our people essentially.
Yep. And yeah.
I shall unite them all under the name of my new god,
I will
which
wage a
which
crusade
I'm
on the world.
under the name of the new god, of which I don't know yet.
Oh, maybe it's up to you to decide. Who knows?
Oh shit.
Maybe someone will tell you. We'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yum,
No,
yum.
it grows. Um, the night has grown dark as the elder bids you a restful sleep, and he returns to his dwelling, and you return to yours and
Sweet.
settle in for the night.
Telling my grandkids stories of what's the most exciting thing we've done? Big fireball, dude. Pew pew.
The the flame above the church.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight. That one, I like that.
and like make it real comical as well. Like Dekai is always tripping over, or
Because he's such an old man.
yeah, Dekai is just always like all that time that we were trying to sneak, but Dekai kept on rambling on about something.
Just
Gave
random
away our
yeah.
position.
Hell yeah, man.
What else? Or tell him the Chad the Skellington classic.
Hell yeah.
Our hero Chad.
Eventually, the night grows late, and the fires burn low, and your grandchildren, followed by your children, and then you and your wife find yourselves in your beds asleep.
Beds. We gonna share a bed?
No, yeah, like your grandchildren, your children, everyone in
Alright,
their beds.
cool.
But no, your religion is one of strict abstinence. So yeah, no, you.
Shit. They're not my children.
No, I'm joking. An explosion awakes you from your sleep. It echoes through the canyon, reverberating off of the mountain tops that surround your village. You're still kicking off the covers as Elidora is already running out the door, her glaive ready in hand. Once unentangled and your own glaive ready, you swiftly follow behind her towards the Great Root Bridge. Pull you back across. Oh, I have to go over there too. Cool. That works.
The fireball man's back.
As you're running towards the doorways that lead out to the Great Root Bridge, you see that light is pouring through. And as you stop, well, as you get to the entrance and you can see through, you see what is causing the glow. Pop, pop.
Oh lordy, not this guy again.
Again, what do you mean?
Oh, metagaming.
Motherfucker.
Oh, I mean, you started the session. It was open on the other map.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought you were talking about Chard's video. An
Oh,
avatar of
I mean
Lathander.
that too. Yeah. Hey, you wanted me to watch it.
Yeah, I did, but fucking
All right, sweet.
metagaming bitch.
Abe's like, now who the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck? You
Who's
recognize it though, because this is part of the Lathander religion.
glowing armor, classic Lathanderial iconography all over the armor. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm a cleric now. I know this shit.
An avatar of Lathander is standing on the far side of the bridge. The warriors of your village standing at the ready by your side, along with your wife Elidora. So I could drag her onto here too. Oh, sorry, Elandra. Where did I get Elidora from? Yeah, the avatar addresses you. Lay down your arms. Follow the directions of the soldiers of Lathander, and you see arrayed behind the avatar of Lathander. Barely, you've got your hand up, trying to let your eyes adjust to the glow of the avatar. You can see that there are paladins and clerics of Lathander standing behind behind the avatar. Your people have committed grave sins against the god of Lathander, and you are to be excommunicated.
Well, we already are excommunicated.
What?
We are split from the Church of Lathander. You can't excommunicate us from something that we're not a part of.
Weren't you still like practicing?
Oh yeah.
I must have missed that in your.
Excommunicated from the Church of Lathander, but Lathander's faith? No, but I mean, kind of.
I'm sorry, man. I must have glossed over that. In your
I don't know.
backstory.
I certainly don't believe. I don't follow Lathander anymore. The rest of the village doesn't know it yet, but but no, I'm going to pull out my glaive and stamp the blunt end into the ground
When
and
did
appear.
you? Yeah, you. Okay, that's alright. We can figure that out later. Either which way, um, when the avatar of Lathander says excommunicated, you get the feeling that it means executed.
Yeah. He didn't come all this way to send a message.
um,
Elandra, honey, you should probably head back inside.
Elandra just looks at you and scoffs. She's a warrior woman herself. She knows how to handle herself in a fight.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with. I've argued with Elandra a few times before, and it never ends. So it's fine.
The avatar sees you, your wife, and the warriors of your village brandish their weapons and says, "So be it." And it alone steps forward onto the bridge, the Great Root Bridge, swinging its golden light sword in arcs around it. The warriors around you let out a roar and they charge forwards into combat with the avatar. You and your wife joined them, as well as your shadow.
Got a charge too.
The combat is short, sharp, vicious. Each time one of the warriors, yourself or your wife, manage to score a hit on the armor or slip in through in the cracks of the plate and pull back, you see small droplets of golden blood scatter from the avatar. But you never hear any cries or grunts of pain from the avatar. Instead, almost machine-like, it just sweeps its sword from the left to the right, each sweep catching one or even two warriors, cutting them in half, cutting off limbs, knocking them off the bridge into the ravine.
My family. All my people.
Even though the battle has barely begun with the avatar, you hear screaming coming from within the village. And that's when you look up and you see the soldiers that were arrayed behind the avatar are turning into balls of pulsating light, shooting up into the sky, and then arcing back down into the village behind you. And that's when you notice the smell of smoke on the wind.
Oh, man.
What do you do, Abe?
Let's see. I'm gonna try and communicate with my new god.
Okay, you are going to offer up a prayer.
Because I'm a cleric now.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pop off a channel of divinity?
Can
I do that at level 1?
I'm not too sure. I actually haven't had much to do with clerics for a very long time, believe it or not. Can you link it in the chat?
Actually, I don't think not sure if he get it.
I think it's a second level cleric.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, what have I got on me? I don't suppose all these torches around the bridge are rigged to light the thing up.
No, it's made out of living roots too. It would take a lot to burn them.
True. Yeah, I have to run back to the village then. Protect the village.
Your wife grabs you as you turn to run back into the village. She gives you a short, sharp nod. Save our grandchildren, Abe. And then she turns back to the avatar. You run.
Hell no.
You run into the village.
She's got to come too.
You can try convincing her. You don't have long, and the avatar is
No, I just grab her. You are no match for this guy. Come.
okay. You're gonna try and drag her away.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, like, not like full on drag her ass back to the village,
Well,
but
that's how you're gonna have to do it because she's intent on
shit.
prevent. But you've lost. You had maybe 40 warriors, and you're down to 20 already. And the avatar's not looking like it's stopping anytime soon. You have a choice to make. Do you stay and fight the avatar, or do you go run into the village?
I'll tell her to go back to the village. I'll stay and fight the avatar. She's open to suggestions like that.
No adjusting backstories in game.
Oh man, I'm so
No,
indecisive.
you've already you don't have the time to communicate that exactly. You barely have the time to exchange nods. You're either remaining in combat, like, because if she takes her focus away to listen to you whilst fighting this thing, it could put her life in danger. You need to make the decision to either run into the village or stay and fight the avatar.
I'll stay and fight the avatar.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and reach out to this new god, by doing that cool monkey grip with my echo
Okay.
to see if there's any sort of activation I can.
Okay.
It's kind of like reach out to say, "Hey, new god, I know we
Hey,
don't
it's
know each
me,
other
your
very well.
boy.
This is kind of your last chance."
um, you take a bare few seconds to pray, to ask for help.
Yeah,
You're hit by a sudden and strong vertigo, and you collapse onto your knees. You suddenly feel incredibly sick, and you begin vomiting. And your vomit is inky milk,
Oh shit.
and you just keep heaving and coughing and vomiting more and more and more of it out onto the floor, more than what you could have thought would have ever been able to fit in your body in the first place, had all your organs and bones and flesh been removed and it was just your skin even. You vomit out a huge black pool of inky milk. And then you hear a familiar voice.
Oh hell yeah.
Abe, allow me. And then the smiling Buddha floats up out of the pool of blackness that you've vomited. And
This guy again.
he is now
It's like
yeah.
struck.
Yeah, you've got
He's
like goo all down the front of you. You're like, oh my god.
awestruck, but also like terrified as well.
The Buddha turns away from you as it's kind of like its head floats up out of the pool, followed by its shoulders, and then its enormous girth, and its flabby belly, and then its legs, and then as it's floating up, it's like turning away from you and turns to face Lathander, the same size, or the avatar of Lathander, and it's the same size as that avatar. And then it lands on the bridge in front of the avatar. All the warriors have stopped fighting now, and silence has fallen. The avatar grips its sword in two hands and says, "Very well, shall we?" And the Buddha replies, not with the mouth it normally talks with, but the mouth that its split belly opens up and reveals. And it shoots one of those little black holes into the avatar of Lathander, crumpling its chest in and shooting out the other side, leaving a large glowing hole dripping with golden blood.
Hell yeah.
The avatar of Lathander still stands and begins swinging at the smiling Buddha, scoring cuts across him. The smiling Buddha doesn't appear to be very mobile at all, almost just dangling, floating in the air like a corpse.
Big balloon.
Yeah, like these big deep cuts of light get scored across its flesh as the avatar starts trying to hack chunks of flesh off of the smiling Buddha. Eventually, the Buddha grabs the avatar of the Lathander by each upper arm, like around the bicep, and just crushes its arms into it, and it drops the sword. The Buddha then lifts up the avatar, places it into its stomach mouth, and bites it in half, and then
Damn.
drops the legs, the lower body on the ground, which then crumples and falls off the bridge into the ravine, spewing golden blood. The Buddha reaches down and picks up the glowing sword left by the avatar of Lathander and floats over to you. And as it floats over to you, it shrinks down to your size, including the sword that it's carrying.
Abe's just like slouched on his knees,
Yeah.
absolutely covered in muck, like still completely dazed and terrified.
The Buddha reaches out as it arrives at you. It reaches out, grabs your glaive, and then where the blade of your glaive is, it slams the now much smaller sword of Lathander into where the blade of your glaive is, shattering the blade and leaving the sword of the avatar fused to the pole of your blade. The Buddha doesn't say anything more. The cuts where the sword of the avatar have struck begin to slow off as flesh just kind of falls off of it and it falls apart and collapses and disappears into like a thick, smoggy black mist.
God damn. I didn't think that guy was gonna come back and help us. Alright. Well, at least we survived.
The silence is deafening.
I look over at Alandra for her reaction.
She's just staring at the scene of like devastation. There's multiple warriors of your sanctum are like scattered about the place. Most of them have been cut in half, one direction or the other, lying there motionless, their glassy eyes staring.
Yeah.
The rest of the scene is covered in either this black ink or golden blood.
Yeah, okay.
At some point during the fight between the Buddha and the Avatar, the other warriors left to run back into the sanctum to deal with whatever was happening in there.
Yeah, I leg it after them.
The village is in ruins. Structures are burning and collapsing. Crop fields have been churned up and torched. And a lot of your friends and family lie dead.
Oh no! I run around and try to find my family. Is anyone alive?
There are a few people alive, but your village has suffered pretty heavy losses. by your rough estimate, you think maybe 40 to 50 clerics and paladins of Lathander had been teleported into your village.
Are they still there?
They're
Or have
all
they
they're all dead
been?
now.
Oh right, okay.
Everyone from a young age is taught how to fight.
Yeah, right. They got more than they bargained for.
Yeah. However, it doesn't necessarily mean your village fared well.
No.
Your daughter and two of your grandchildren are dead,
No, god damn.
cut down by the soldiers of Lathander.
Those bastards. I don't suppose there's anyone struggling still around. If I can run around, give them a slap for spare the dying.
Yeah, there are a few people like so. Everyone who can still move and is able-bodied is running around trying to put out fires, trying
Okay,
to
sweet.
save people who can be saved, patch people up where they can, staunch bleeding and stuff, and you join them along with Alandra. However, there are many days of mourning ahead, and that's where we'll end Abe's interlude.
Sheesh. That's heavy. My people. God damn.
Yeah, I think yours might be the saddest of the interludes, but I think Abe also has the most to lose in some ways, I
Yeah.
suppose. But yeah.
I'm just chucking a meme in the chat that perfectly sums up.
How you feel?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll end the recording there.